Good evening, this is Nicholas from Gandora Gaming, and the Centurions have just been revealed. The brand new archetype coming out of Valiant Smashers. This was the final archetype that needed to be revealed, and a lot of people have been hyped for this. So I did a poll for what everyone was most excited for. I think Centurion was the highest rated, so we'll see how this card does. We'll see how this goes, and let's see how good they are. So this is Centurion Prima. Level 4 light spellcaster tuner effect monster, so I guess this is a synchro base archetype. 1600 attack, 1600 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card once per turn. If this card is no more special summon, you can add one Centurion card from your deck to hand, except herself, but you can't special summon herself for the rest of the turn. Now that's interesting. I don't know why it has that restriction, but at least it doesn't stop you from summoning other monsters besides Centuria, so I guess I'll take it. The next two effects are your level 5 or higher Centurion monsters can't be destroyed by card effects while this card is treated as a continuous trap. So I guess the archetype revolves around continuous traps, and the monsters are the continuous traps, so that's interesting. And then during the main phase, while this card's continuous is treated as a continuous trap, quick effect, special summon it. So this is a quick effect, so you can't special summon during your opponent's turn. So I think the idea is that you would summon it on your turn, put it into the spell search, put it into the spell and trap zone, and then on your opponent's turn you can special summon it again, and then search again, which is pretty interesting. I like that. If you do that whole search thing again, you're not protected anymore because they're not treated as a continuous trap anymore. So that's pretty interesting. Alright, so the next card we have is Centurion Trudy, or Trude. It's a level 4 Dark Pyro effect monster, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. You can only use this first and second effect of this card once per turn. During your main phase, you can place this card you control and one Centurion monster from your hand or deck, except herself, into your face-up spell and trap zone as continuous trap, but they can't special summon Centurion Trude for the rest of the turn. So this is actually really interesting. So with this guy's first effect, if you normal summon this guy, you can place Centurion Prima into your spell and trap zone. Centurion Prima then can use its effect to summon itself into the main monster zone. Then it can search, and then if you have a way to put this thing back into the spell and trap zone, you can then special summon it on your opponent's turn and then get another search. Or you leave it in the spell and trap zone and it will protect your level 5 or higher from card effects. Very interesting card. The second effect of this card is that during the main phase, while this card is treated as a continuous trap, you can special summon it and then increase its level by 4. So that's actually also really interesting. So it's a level modulator when it special summons itself into the spell and trap zone. And it doesn't really do anything else. I would have liked to see if this thing had a really cool protection effect in the spell and trap zone as well, like the other one. But this is still going to be a 3 of in the deck, just because it summons out the main one. So I can definitely see you normal summon Centurion Trudy, get Prima in your spell and trap zone, Prima spell summon itself, search, and then you go from there, which is really, really good. Now for our last main deck Centurion, we have Centurion Emmet 6, I believe. It's VI. I think that means 6. I could be mistaken. It's a level 8 Earth Machine effect monster. 2000 attack, 3000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. During your opponent's turn, if this card is in your hand or graveyard, quick effect, target one Centurion monster you control, except Centurion Emmet, place it into your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. And if you do, special summon this card. So I already do like that ability. There's a lot of dodging in this archetype if you haven't noticed. So if these guys are in your spell and trap zone, you can quick effect put them into your main monster zone. And this guy is now saying that they're in your main monster zone, you can quick effect put them into your spell and trap zone, which is pretty good on dodging removal. Alright, so let's read the second effect now. The second effect is, during the main phase, if this card is treated as continuous trap, you can special summon it. So I can already see some combos so far. If you notice, the synchro that we have is a 12. So this 8 plus the 4 tuner equals the Synchro 12, and that's how you make that. But overall, it seems like they all want to special themselves from the spell and trap zone, which is really cool. All right, so let's go over the new Synchro monster that I hinted at in the previous card. This Synchro monster is Centurion Legate or Legate. I'm not really sure how to pronounce this card, but to be honest, I'm not sure how to pronounce any of these cards. This card is a 3500 level 12 light machine spell synchro effect monster with 2000 defense. Materials are 1 tuner plus non-tuner monsters, so it's very generic. Any deck that can synchro into 12s can make this. You can only use the first and third effect of this card once a turn. First effect is, if this card is special summoned, draw 1 card, then you can destroy 1 face-up monster your opponent controls with the highest attack. Your choice if tied. So this card on synchro just pulls up the highest attack monster and then draws you a card, which is really good. Second effect, which is a continuous effect, is monsters with 2000 or less attack can be destroyed in battle, which is all the main deck monsters, including the level 8 and the level 4s, which is pretty good. Now, the third and final effect is, during each end phase, you can place 1 non-synchro Centurion monster from your hand or graveyard face up into your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. So there you go. So I think the idea is that you want to synchro climb into this guy and then somehow still have one of these little dudes still on field to then place them into the spell and trap zone so you can summon them on your opponent's turn. It would have been really cool if this level 4 one, the tuner, when special summon, could like quick synchro, kind of like Leon. Because the idea is that maybe you can quick synchro into the Centurion boss monster. I mean, on his synchro summon, you can pop a card and draw 1. That would have been really cool, but hey, what can you do? We have a couple of spell cards. You have a field spell and a quick play spell. The field spell is Stand Up Centurion. It's a field spell. You can use the second and third effect of this card once a turn. First effect is you can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects while you control a Centurion monster card. So basically this card is saying, hey, this field spell ain't going anywhere as long as you control a Centurion monster. Unless they Cosmic Cyclone it, in which case it is going somewhere. But that's pretty good. The field spell having protection for itself is a really solid effect. Second effect is, during the main phase, if this card was activated, send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard, place 1 Centurion monster from your deck face up into your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. So I like that because you can discard the level 8, place anything into your spell and trap zone, and then it doesn't matter because then your level 8 can special summon itself by putting special summoning the monster in your spell and trap zone, which is pretty good. And then finally, we have the third effect. If a monster is special summoned, you can immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using materials you control. There you go. I was looking for a way to synchro summon on our opponent's turn. It looks like the field spell is the way to do it. So the idea is that you summon, you synchro on your turn, and you either set up the spells and these quick plays into your spell and trap zone, and then you special summon them on your opponent's turn, get their bonus effects, and then this field spell will quick synchro into your boss monster. So that's actually really solid. One of my issues just got resolved with this field spell, which is pretty insane. And the fact that the field spell protects itself from destruction is pretty well. So let's keep reading. We have a new field spell, not field spell, another quick play spell, Faith of the Centurion. It's a quick play spell. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn. Place 1 Centurion monster from your hand or graveyard in your spell and trap zone as a continuous trap. If a Centurion synchro monster is special summoned while this card's in your graveyard, banish this card, then target 1 Centurion monster in your graveyard, place it into your spell and trap zone. That's amazing. And the fact you can do both effects this turn is really good. So the idea is that you activate this card, place 1 in your spell and trap zone, then you'll make your normal play, synchro climb, and then this card, when you finally make that synchro, will then use the material you just used and put it back into your spell and trap zone for the following turn, which is really solid. Now we have the trap cards. We have Centurion Phalanx. This is a normal trap. Funny enough, I love how these are continuous traps, and then Like the monsters are continuous traps, and then they give us a normal trap and a counter trap for our last 2 traps. That's actually kind of funny. You can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn, and only once that turn. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field, banish it, and if you do, special summon it to its owner's field during the standby phase in the next turn. And then also the second effect is you can banish this card from your graveyard, target 1 Centurion single monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, it loses 1500 attack. And if you do that, in that case, your 3500 becomes a 2000, which is interesting. I don't know how good the second effect of this trap card is, but its first effect is kind of good for the fact that it gets rid of like material. But overall, it's kind of a lackluster card, and it only banishes it to the standby phase. I guess against like link deck, so let's say they're playing Salamangre, before they reincarnation link, you can activate the effect to banish the link. Thus, they don't get the resources until the next turn. By then, you just kill them. Kind of like how Trap Tricks have a way to banish until the standby phase. I didn't contend with it later, but it's okay. Now we have a True Centurion. This is the counter trap. You can only activate this card once a turn. When a spell or trap or monster effect is activated, send 1 face-up monster card in your spell and trap zone to graveyard. Negate the activation if you do destroy that card. Makes sense. That just makes sense. It's just a counter trap. It is an Infinity Barrier for the Archetype. Really, really solid support. And honestly, out of all the 3 archetypes that have been revealed, I actually am more excited now for the Centurions. These cards look pretty interesting and might have some potential going forward.